Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now first of all, if you're ever feeling down, I will take this video as a motivational video that no matter what is, bringing you down, you can do it as long as you believe in yourself. Why am I saying this? Is because I'm in a world of hurt right now. I'm sick, but I need to get this video out as soon as I possibly can. I will talk as loud as I possibly can. I think some people are actually happy that I'm not allowed to shout right now because I'll probably just cough and die. But anyway, today I want to talk about prediction decreases for legendaries. But yeah, getting back to my first point though, if you ever feel down, just believe in yourself. I believe in you. You can do it. Whatever it is, you got it. But anyway, I want to talk about, I love how we're talking about, we started the video off with some uplifting message, but the video is actually about decreases and nerfs. Well, these aren't really nerfs though, because when you think about it, when it comes to top drives, when you nerf a car in RQ, it's actually a buff, especially if a legend goes to epic, because that means that there's going to be a bunch of new cars that people can max now, and that is actually really, really cool. There're going to be a lot of new RQ79s. So I think 2 weeks ago I talked about what I thought was the perfect RQ79 in the game, which was the SRT Viper. That being said though, it seems like their Hudge is going for the high standard. Let me know down in the comments below if you remember what that means. High standard basically means that they're raising the bar of what it means to be an RQ80 by taking the current RQ80s down to 79, and that way they also raise the standard for RQ79s and every RQ below RQ80. So I'm actually really happy with this. So over here we got this yesterday, so that's why I have to record the video today. I couldn't do it in advance, right? I guess I could have done it yesterday, but yesterday I recorded the garage tour and I was really tired then because I came back at 11. But anyway, we know for a fact that 32 legendaries are going to go down in RQ, and today's video is going to be purely speculative. It's going to be a predicting video. It's not really RQR where I combine I contrast a legendary to two other epics that it's worse at. This is purely a speculative video. I'm going to show you 32 legendaries I think are going to go down and what RQ they're going to get as well. Like for this example, the Spiker C8 Preliator, this definitely has to go down. It's a worse version of the SRT10 Viper, yeah, it has a slightly better 0 to 60, but it handles worse and it has a worse MRA as well. I think that the Spiker C8 Preliator is going to go down to 78. Now also let me know down in the comments below. I want to know how many of these cars I get right. Why I need to get this video out as soon as possible is because we don't know when the hell the update's going to drop. It can drop 2 hours after this video goes live. It can drop 2 weeks after this video goes live. I have no clue because Hutch is really bad at conveying information to the audience and the players. But anyway, let's go on with the next one. I mean, the only thing Hutch is good at right now is bending over for one Audi R8. It's everywhere. Come on, man. Maybe Audi paid you the most money, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to put the R8 on everything, right? There are different Audis that you can put on promotional. I'm gonna be honest. Raise your hand if you're, imagine if you're watching, just raise your hand. No one knows what you're doing, but raise your hand if you're already sick of seeing that blue R8. I'm no Audi R8 fan, so I'm really sick of seeing that Audi, but I digress. Let's continue. The second legendary I think is going to go down is the Mercedes-AMG SLS. I think it's going to get a decrease of 1 and become a really strong RQ79. It's got a good top speed. The handling could be better, but the 0 to 60 is strong and the handling is really good. When you think about it, it's just a better Hellcat when you can max it out, and this is going to change the game, honestly, if it becomes an epic and a widely upgraded car. Moving on is going to be the Mercedes-AMG GTS. I think this is going to get a decrease of 3 down to 77. Now, unlike the SLS, this car just doesn't hit the mark anywhere. The handling, it shares the same weakness from the SLS that we saw prior with the bad handling. Thank you, WhatsApp. I should close my WhatsApp so that the sound doesn't come in. But yeah, the AMG GTS, it takes the weakness in the handling from the SLS, and it doesn't have the MRA. It has 9 MRA less. So personally, I think a lot of epics is better than this car, and because of that, I think it should go down to 77, a pretty big decrease. The fourth car I think is going to go down is the Lotus Exige S. Now, there are going to be a lot of RQ80s that are going to go down, but there are some that are staying. For example, the TVR Typhon and the Opel Kadett. So this car I think is going to get a decrease of -3. It has not good MRA. I mean, I wouldn't say no MRA, but it's definitely not strong. Handling is good, but the top speed could be better, and the 0 to 60 is strong. But I feel Before PL15, the standard for what made a really good epic was 3.7 seconds. And I think because of PL15, the standard for what makes a really good epic is going to change to 3.6 seconds. So it makes a lot of sense. I think this would go down to about 77 just because it doesn't have MRA and no top speed. Okay, moving on now is the Lotus Evora 410. Now this car I'm really excited for actually. I know that the 0 to 60 is really weak, but I think it's going to stay at 79 with a small decrease of -1, mainly because it handles really well. 89. All the other legendaries that we saw that I predict are going down are below 88, handling some in the 86s. So 89 is strong, and on top of that, it has 98 MRA and a relatively decent top speed. The 0 to 60 is the weakest thing about this car, but hey, that doesn't really matter on a 1 mile, and it still can work on the twisty tracks as well. Moving on now is the Range Rover Sport SVR, the 21 Savage car that I love. I do have it. I have it at once. No, I don't think I have it at one star. I think I have it stock, honestly. I think it's going to get a massive downgrade from 80 to 76, mainly because it doesn't handle. 76 handling is really, really poor. I know it has a low 0 to 60, but the MRA isn't good enough to justify the top speed to make it, you know, an all-around dragster of a car. It's still not bad. It's just that definitely as a legendary, it handicaps it a lot. Moving on is the Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, and hold on, I need to blow my nose because I'm sick. You know, if I can go 5 minutes with my nose not being Niagara Falls, that would be nice. This entire day, I think I've gone through like 100 plies of tissue. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Lamborghini Gallardo Spider first generation. I think it's going to get a massive decrease. -4 from 80 to 76. One of the worst legendaries in the game. It has nothing. Like, it literally has nothing. The handling is shit. The 0 to 60 is shittier. And the MRA is the shittiest. It's a shit car. Like, honestly, like, this car needs to go down, and it needs to go down far. So I think 76 is... I feel like that isn't even a good place to put it. 75 might be a better place. I'll give it 76 for now. Let me know how it goes, I guess. Then we have the Lamborghini Gallardo Valentino Balboni. I'm going to bring it down to 78, which is the same as the Gallardo that's epic right now that isn't the Balboni version. I mean, they're both really similar cars, so I think they should get about the same RQ. Moving on is going to be the Cadillac CTS Sport Wagon. I think this should go down as 1, mainly because it's got a high top speed. It has medium ground clearance, and hopefully it stays medium ground clearance going into PL15. That might be a change that I did not take into account. And the MRA on this thing is actually ridiculous. Like 102 MRA, fair play. That's really strong. But what makes the CTSV crap is the 0 to 60 is very, very, very weak. 4.0 isn't good enough, you know what I mean? Like, it's very similar to the 0 to 60 of the Suzuki Panda. So, the Galaxy CTSV, not very good in 0 to 60, but it's got the top speed, it's got the MRA, and it's got the medium ground clearance. I don't think it deserves to be an 80, but it'll be a strong 79. I don't think it'll get a big downgrade. Moving on is the BMW 640i X-Drive. I think this is going to get -9, going from RQ80 all the way down to 71. I think this is going to be the biggest decrease when it comes to legendaries. Handling is trash. Once again, the stats that you see here is an outdated picture. It's from Top Drives Club, but Top Drives Club has not updated their pictures since Cavemen discovered fire. So unfortunately, those are outdated stats. I think the handling is like 75 or something stock. Like, it's really, really bad. But it has 87.2 MRA. That's the only thing the 640i has, MRA, and the top speed isn't high. It's not a dragster. I think it's going to go down to like a mid-range epic at 71 or 72. Moving on, the Aston Martin Vantage. This one, if it goes epic, will be one of my most wanted cars in PL15, and it's not even new. I mean, technically it's new, right, because it's like a brand new car, but I genuinely really want this. I think it'll be a ridiculous epic. I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of a slightly better version of the Corvette Z06, you know, the yellow one, because it has the same stats, 3.50 to 60, 88 handling. When you max it out, it's going to be like 3098, but it has slightly better MRA. So I think it'll go down to about 78, and the Corvette might go down to 78 along with it as well, since we're going to get a new wave of what makes a 79. Moving on is going to be the Aston Martin DB11. Now this one I think is going to be a 79 because it has better MRA, better handling, and a higher top speed. I believe it has a higher top speed, 200. Yeah, it has a higher top speed. Okay, moving on now, Aerial Atom 3. I think it's going to go down to RQ77, you know, putting it on the same ranks as the Epic Donkervorts, because the Epic Donkervorts, although they have a slower 0 to 60 of 3.4 seconds, they handle better at 89. And when it comes to the twisty niche, the handling is the better thing. So I think that the Aerial Atoms, both this and this one, are both going to be closer to their Donkervort counterparts at RQ77 or maybe even RQ76. Moving on is going to be the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Really excited for this. If it goes down to epic, along with the Vantage, will be one of my most wanted epics in the entire game. Also, shout out to the two Aston Martins we talked about before, because those two cars, well, not the Vantage, but the DB11 used to be an epic, went up to legendary, and now it's going back down to epic, if it happens. I think that this will be an RQ79 and a really strong RQ RQ79. It's a saloon. It's got a high top speed with great MRA, great handling. When you think about it, this car, if it goes epic, is going to kill and turn the M3CS and bring the M3CS into extinction, because the Giulia Quadrifoglio, if it goes epic, is going to be the new daddy saloon, and I want this in my life. Moving on, it's going to Porsche 911 Turbo. I think this is going to go down to RQ78. Handling is decent for a four-wheel drive car, but the MRA is weak and the 0 to 60 is trash. Moving on, this one is confirmed. This is most likely like 99% going to be 79, mainly because HUD showed it in the post that they posted yesterday. So yeah, this is probably going to be 79, and it looks like a really strong 79 to be fair, because when you max this baby out, it's going to be 2.999, which is kind of ridiculous. MRA isn't good, but 2.999, if that is going to be the benchmark for what makes a new really good epic, I am excited. Moving on is going to be the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren 722. I think it's going to go down to 79 as well. It doesn't have the MRA, but it's got the top speed and decent handling to boot, so I think 79 is a good place to put it. Then we have the Lamborghini Diablo VT. I think this is going to go down to 77, if not lower. The only thing this car has is that combination of a top speed and MRA, making it perhaps a 1 mile car, but the 0 to 60 on this is ridiculously horrible. But it is a very good testable car. But that being said, that just because you're a master at one track, like, there's difference of being a specialist, like a twisty specialist and a track specialist. A twisty specialist means that you're strong at least like 50% of the track sets, anything with a turn. A track specialist means that you are a specialist at one out of like what 50 track sets in the game. It's ridiculous. So the Diablo VT Roadster, get down to epic. You do not deserve to be here in the legendary collection with that 0 to 60 and that handling. I know rares that handle better than this piece of crap. Moving on, the BMW, another car that used to be epic that went to legendary, which I think is going to go back down to epic. It's got a really low 0 to 60 combined with four-wheel drive. That's kind of its niche, but the handling is trash and the top speed is trash. I think it's going down to 79, maybe even 78. Then we have the Bentley Continental Breitling Jet. I think it's going to get a -3 reduction of 81 to 78, very similar to the Friday Porsche that we saw earlier. And then we have the Aston Martin Vanquish Zagato, which I think is going to go down to 79. Once again, going to be a really good looking car. It's going to be 2.899 or maybe a very low 2.999. Either way, it's going to be a very, very good car for the hybrid track sets, but the MRA still isn't very strong. 79.49 MRA ain't nothing at all, but the on-paper stats on this car is very, very enticing. Same thing with the Aston Martin Vanquish S. It's just a slightly better version in terms of MRA, but the stats are about the same. I think they're both going down to 79. I need to blow my nose again, god damn it. The good thing is I don't have a fever. It's just like I feel like I have fatigue and I have a cold. It's not COVID, guys. I've actually never gotten COVID before. Like, I did the test, it's negative, but like it's just a common cold. It's just I didn't get my flu shot. I've not gotten my flu shot like in the last like decade. Anyway, moving on. Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spider. I think it's going to get a negative reduction of -3 from 82 to 79. Now I think that this is going to be a ridiculously strong 79. I think that the Lamborghini Huracan rear-wheel drive Spider and the car that we're going to see next are going to be the two cars that kind of define of what is going to be the strongest of the RQ79s, or the strongest of the epics. Because when you think about it, once again, this car is going to hit like 3.097 with 97 MRA and a top speed of over 200. Once again, the top speed is relevant here because it has the MRA to complement it. So I think this will be a really strong 79. And is it going to be the same question for the AMG SLS? It's got even better handling, so it's going to be about 3.1, maybe even 3.0. I think 3.198 with 96 MRA. It's going to be a ridiculously strong car. Really looking forward if it becomes an epic for realsies. Now 26 is going to be the Lamborghini Diablo 6.0. I think it's going to get a reduction of 5 from 82 to 77. This thing is a piece of crap. Probably one of the worst legendaries in the game, alongside the Blue Gallardo. 3.70 to 60. That's the same as a Hellcat. 84 handling. Guess what? A wide body handles better than this thing, and the MRA is atrocious. So I think it's going to go down to 77, maybe even 76. The only reason why I don't want to bring it too low is because 3.70 to 60 for a four-wheel drive car within its niche is on the stronger side, because like we saw earlier on with the Porsche and the Bentley, they're kind of hitting 4 seconds. So 3.7, okay, fine, like maybe 77. Moving on, it's going to be the Bentley Continental. This one's 3.6. However, I think that this is going to be 79. I know it's a bit hypocritical to give this one -5 at 77, but this one only -3 when they're so close in stats. But hear me out, right? The Bentley handles better, has a lower 0 to 60, and I think the MR is worse though. MR is worse, but it handles better, lower 0 to 60. I genuinely think the Bentley's a slightly better car. At the end of the day, I don't own any of these two. I thank God that I don't, but I feel like they'll be pretty decent when they become epic. Honestly, the Lamborghini, no, but the Bentley, maybe. I mean, when you max this out, it would be 3.194. I don't know, 79, you know, now I'm looking at it, maybe 78 would be better. Yeah, okay, moving on now. Porsche 911 Turbo, this one's definitely going down to 78. This thing is garbage. So I think this is the main reason why I think I put the Bentley at 79, because it's better than the Diablo and the Porsche. The Porsche, once again, it has the same handling, but it has a worse top speed, a worse 0 to 60, and about the same MRA. I don't know why this went to legendary in the first place. It used to be an epic and it should have stayed there. Then we have the Mercedes-AMG SLS Electric. I think we got a reduction of -3 from 82 to 79. It's got no top speed. MRA is, I can't say strong. I mean, if this was an ultra rare, fine, 87 would be really strong. If this was an epic, fine, it'd be respectable, but we're talking about legendaries over here, and this is just very, very weak. So if this becomes an epic, I think it'll be a pretty good car, but once again, the top speed just isn't there. Moving on is going to be the Lamborghini Gallardo first generation. I think it'll be an RQ79. It's got 4.086, but unlike the Porsche and the Bentley that we saw before, this one actually has MRA, so I think 79 is a decent place to put it, if not maybe a very high 78. Moving on is the Lamborghini Diablo 6.0. This one is a very low 78. I think -4. Once again, only reason why it's at that 78 mark is because it's got a low 0 to 60 of 3.7 for a 4-wheel drive car within its niche, okay? I'm only comparing this against other 4-wheel drive low ground clearance cars, especially the ones that you see in this video, and this one has slightly better MRA. The other Diablo was 79, this one is 85, and if I'm gonna rank the other Diablo 77, this one has to be 78. Moving on now is going to be the Bentley Bentayga. I mean, this one needs no introduction. This is a piece of crap. I think this is the last legendary, so 32 in total, that it's gonna go down to the epic ranks. The Bentley Bentayga W12, everybody knows this, is worse than the epic Bentley Bentayga. This thing is atrocious. It's ridiculously heavy, has a low 0 to 60, and that's it. That's it, the end. The top speed, you're not going to hit anywhere near your top speed with 63 MRA, and 75 handling. I can tell you ultra rares that handle better than this. So yeah. Bentley Bentayga W12 definitely going down. I know that there are two legendary Bentley Bentaygas. The other legendary Bentayga is RQ85, and I think it's going to go down to RQ80 or 81, which is a significant drop, but it's still going to be a legendary. But anyway, guys, that is going to be my prediction for the 32 legendaries that are going to go down in RQ. Let me know which car you are most excited for. In my opinion, I'm most excited for the SLSs and the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to stay safe, wash your hands. I'm going to knock out now because my nose is killing me, and I have a headache. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop dead look. Swing it side to side as we slow dance to the night, when I hold your perfect hand.